Come in.
Hi. I have heard about this program called ReBuild NC, and I'm just wondering, what is that?
Oh, I'm glad you came and asked. So ReBuild NC is a state-run program to assist survivors of hurricanes Matthew and Florence. It's funded through HUD, through a federal grant, and it is intended as a essentially like a funding of last resort. So you've already tried all the other things, FEMA, home insurance, and you still have damages to your home.
Okay, so I had some damage from Hurricane Florence, and I got a little money from FEMA, but there's still some work that needs to be done. Would I be eligible to apply?
Yes, even if you've already received assistance, you can still apply for ReBuild. It's helpful if you have receipts or documentation of how the money was spent when you got it, to show what you did with it insofar as repairs that you may have completed on your house.
Okay, so what other questions are they going to ask me in the application about my house?
I'm glad you asked. So the first questions that they're going to want to know, or things that they're going to want to know, are which disasters affected your home. So it can be Hurricane Matthew or Florence or both. So, you're going to want to know. I'm sure you do. They're also going to want to know if you owned your home at the time of the disaster, and if you've maintained ownership of that home since the time of the disaster. They're also going to want to know if your home's your primary residence. So this funding is available only for those where this is your primary residence. So no vacation homes or rental properties. There is some assistance if you have rental properties, but that's a different thing than the homeowner recovery program. And then they're also going to want to know if you're still living there.
Okay. Well, so my parents originally bought this house, and when they passed away, they left it to me and my brother, but I'm the one who lives here, but my brother owns it too. Is that okay?
That is okay. So one of the questions that you'll be asked is if there's anyone else with an ownership interest in the property. And you'll want to provide their name, whoever is an owner, name and contact information. So it sounds like you know that there's only one other owner, but there are some people where there may be cousins, aunts, uncles, lots of people that have an ownership interest in a property just by virtue of it having been passed down through some generations. And so you might not necessarily know the contact information for every person that you think might have an ownership interest. So in that case, being able to at least have maybe the last known contact information can be really helpful. But I would say in those situations, you definitely want to call legal aid for assistance.
Okay. So my brother, he lives in a mobile home, and it's been pretty badly damaged, and I don't know if it can be fixed. Could he still apply?
So mobile homes are eligible. So single family homes, mobile homes, modular homes, they're all available, all eligible for assistance. With a mobile home, one of the questions that they're going to ask is, did you own or lease the land that the home is on? And that doesn't necessarily knock you out of eligibility. It's just a question. Do you own the land? Do you lease the land? And you will need to provide a title for your mobile home.
Okay. I think I have other questions. So how long will it take for me to get the repairs on my home after I apply?
That's a good question. And one that I can't really answer. The program has started taking applications, and ideally this will move along fairly quickly. I will say that to have the best chance at getting repairs the soonest, having everything kind of together is really helpful. Some of the other questions that they're going to ask are, if you have a mortgage on your home or any other sort of judgments against the property, and then be able to provide that documentation of like the company or who has a judgment against the property. They're also going to want to know if you had any home insurance at the time of the disaster. So that could be home insurance, flood insurance, other types of insurance. As we know, sometimes insurance policies don't cover damages, which can be very frustrating, but still need to be able to provide the insurance company and then also your policy number.
So I had insurance after the storm, but they didn't cover much of the damage, so I stopped paying it. Is that okay?
If you had insurance during the storm, then you're going to provide documentation of that and any documentation that you have that you filed a claim. If you did not have insurance, that is also okay. You would just sign an affidavit saying that you did not have any home insurance at the time of the disaster.
Okay. And I think this is my last question. So what if I live in an area that is prone to flooding and I know for sure my house is going to flood again?
So one of the things that ReBuild does is an environmental study. So they're going to look at your property and look at where it is in as far as 100-year floodplain, 500-year floodplain, et cetera. As we know, some of the hurricanes sure changed the way those flood maps look. But if they feel like, they can repair the property and do any mitigation efforts such as elevation, anything like that that maybe needed extra drainage in the property so that ideally doesn't flood, they can do that. Additionally, if they feel that you require flood insurance, ReBuild is able to offer some assistance with that for the first couple of years.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else I should know?
So it's good to know if you fill out the application online, and right now, because of the fact that so many people are working at home, the application is only available really online right now. It takes about 30, 45 minutes. You can save your application and come back to it whenever you need to. You can also do a paper application, though that's probably going to take a little bit longer. And then I would say if you have any issues or concerns about your eligibility or worries about how you may or may not have spent, whether it was FEMA money, an SBA loan, home insurance, and again, if you have any sort of ownership issues, then please give legal aid a call so that we can ideally help you as quickly as possible so that you're in the best position possible to get assistance.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to go fill out my application right now and call legal aid if I have any issues.
Great, good luck.